My name is Beth, and you're listening to the CannaFitness and Nutrition Podcast, where we are hanging out at the intersection of fitness, nutrition, and cannabis. Thank you so much for pressing play today. I'm so excited that you're here and that you're interested in fitness and cannabis and nutrition and how to be your healthiest self and use cannabis at the same time. You know, it still catches people by surprise when I say what I do, but I know that there's so many of you out there that are using cannabis to be healthy and to be fit, and we are in this together, guys. So today I'm going to talk about, or maybe you're new and maybe you are interested in how this works together. So today I'm going to talk about 9 of my favorite ways that cannabis can enhance your health or unlock your fitness. We'll make it sound sexy today. So 9 ways, 9 of my favorite ways, 9 of the best ways, we'll say, that cannabis can help. And as always, when I talk about cannabis, I'm generally talking about it as a whole, as the plant, meaning that I'm talking equally about CBD, which is the non-psychoactive part, the non-intoxicating part, and THC, which is the more well-known but intoxicating part. So, and I'll tell you when I'm talking about each one specifically, because they both do a lot of the similar things, and then they both have some specific differences. So the first thing we're going to talk about, which can help you unlock your fitness, is sleep. And this is really where cannabis shines, and probably where, if you're new, you may have heard about using cannabis for sleep. If you're already a user, you know that this helps you get a fantastic night's sleep. Sleep is cannabis, a lot of cannabis, I should say. Many types and strains are sedating, and they promote sleep. So they help you get into a relaxed mode, right? They help you get into relaxation. And what that does is it calms your nervous system down so that you can fall asleep. Now, cannabis works naturally in our body. Just quick science background is our body has a natural system, just like we have a respiratory system and a reproductive system and a lymphatic system. That's the fluids in your body. We have an endocannabinoid system, which means that inside of our body, we make cannabinoids. It uses cannabinoids. What are cannabinoids? It's cannabis. It's the things that grow in the plant. CBD is a cannabinoid. THC is a cannabinoid. Those are parts of the plant, and our body makes similar ones inside. So it knows how to use the ones from the plant to do whatever that type is going to do. And they're curated and they're slightly different, which is why it's a very confusing world out there. If you've ever walked into a dispensary, there's a lot of words that you may not know or may not have seen before. And even if you're an experienced user, there still might be things that you don't necessarily understand. And that's where I want to step in and I want to help you understand it all. But very simply, you know, the way that cannabis interacts in your body is that it targets certain receptors, and it knows exactly which receptors to unlock. So sedating types of cannabis, again, through your endocannabinoid system, unlock sedation and sleep. And I hate the word sedation, let's be honest. Like, it sounds like I'm putting you under anesthesia, and I'm not doing that. We're just getting a good night's sleep. But here's the thing. Sleep is key if you want to be fit, right? I mean, if you've ever not slept well, the last thing you want to do when you wake up is go work out, right? The last thing you care about when you haven't slept well is having a salad or having a vegetable. When you're not sleeping well and you're just like so exhausted, all you want to do is eat junk food. You want to eat food that gives you energy. And usually our brains think that, simple carbs, high sugar, fatty foods, like those are the things that our brain tells us are going to give us energy. In reality, not so much, but that's what happens, right? You're tired, you don't make great decisions, you don't have any energy. the purpose of sleep is to restore your body and let your body rejuvenate, repair. It repairs all of your muscles. And again, that can be helpful too. So in your fitness is you want to be sleeping, not just so you have the energy to work out, but so your body can repair itself and that you can wake up and be refreshed and repaired and ready to go, building muscle. We're not just working out just to tear it down. We got to rebuild it at the same time. So sleep. Cannabis is certainly one of the best tools for fitness because it can help you sleep. Now, just so you know, too, a little education here, CBD, the non-intoxicating part, actually shines for helping you stay asleep. And THC really shines for helping you fall asleep. So your best bet is to take a combination, or what they call full spectrum. So a product that has both THC and CBD in it. Now, newer products, what we're seeing a lot of right now is CBN. And I always say the N is for nighttime, CBN, because that's a cannabinoid, just like CBD and THC, not intoxicating, but really relaxing. Again, that word sedating is coming to mind, but really makes you sleepy, right? All of the latest sleep products that I've seen at the dispensaries and online all have CBN in them, all right? And it's fantastic. So sleep. The next thing that can really unlock your fitness that's cannabis is energy, right? Using cannabis for energy. Now, again, we're looking at certain types, and that's what, again, is important for me to explain to you is that aside from CBD being non-intoxicating and THC being intoxicating, there's so many different types with under those, right? If you were to look at like a big giant like chart, right, you would have like almost like a family tree. You would have your CBD and your THC at the top, and then underneath those, you would have indicas on both sides, you would have sativas on both sides. We would dissect them by terpenes, which I'll talk about in a different episode, but those are things that help differentiate each type, and each type does different things. So again, to be very general, if you're looking for energy, and who doesn't need more energy for their workouts, right? Because a lot of times we're not motivated because you're tired, and maybe that's because you're not sleeping, and maybe that's just because your life is crazy and you just don't have a lot of energy left, right? You could sleep great, but still not have a ton of energy because your life might just be crazy. You might just work, you might work 12-hour shifts. How are you supposed to have energy after that, right? You might have a full-time job and kids. You might have a part-time job and kids or dogs or whatever it is that's exhausting for you. So, we all need energy. And energy when you get that from your cannabis, you're going to get a natural boost, right? You can take it with caffeine, of course, that would definitely boost your energy. But a lot of people find that caffeine is just jittery. Makes you jittery, makes you a little wired, whereas using cannabis gives you a more mellow energy, right? A little more just pep without too much pep, if that makes sense. Like, here's an example. One of my clients she really wanted to implement her workouts. She really wanted to get into working out, and she wanted to do it after work. It just made the most sense, right? She works kind of early, but she gets out at like 4-ish. So plenty of time to get a workout in before you have to make dinner and do all the nighttime routine things. But she was so drained from her job and she was on her feet all day. She had an active job, so she was just drained. So what she started to do, and we worked together to find the right type for her, but she started to use a CBG. Now, CBG is non-intoxicating. It's similar to CBD, but the G is for go. I always say it's not, but that's what I say. The G is for go. So she started to use a CBG at the end of her workday. And again, you can, it could be an inhalation, it could be an edible, it could be a tincture, any of those things. It doesn't matter right now because she used it, and that just gave her a little bit of energy, not so much that she was unable to sleep like caffeine would do at 4:00, but some CBG at 4:00 gave her the little push she needed to get a workout in, and she's been on a streak, man, that I think most people would be envious about, like weeks and weeks and weeks of a streak on her workouts. So it's working really, really well. And again, because it's CBG, it's not caffeine, it's not so much energy that you can't sleep later. It's just enough to get you through, and give that little pep. So something like that. There are so many energy products right now out there at the dispensary. Every time I turn around, I see a gummy or a tincture or something promising to give you a little bit of pep. Always just be careful when you read the package before you buy something. Or send me a picture and I'll look at it for you, because I want to make sure that you're buying something that is pure cannabis. Make sure that you know whether it's going to make you intoxicated or not, because you could go either way. And sometimes they do add caffeine and stuff, so just be careful when you look at those. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is motivation, which is sort of related to energy, because a lot of the things that will give you energy will also give you motivation, right? Because a lot of times we're not motivated because we don't have any energy or we're too tired, right? So motivation can come from several things. It can come from sleeping well. It can come from the energy gummies. And it can also just come from the mood boost that you get from cannabis. And again, I'm talking about both CBD and THC because both can have an aspect of boosting your mood. And when you have a better mood, you're more motivated. And you probably know that. You don't need me to tell you that, because when you're in a better mood, you're motivated to go work out. You're motivated to pick the veggies, right? When you're not in a good mood, you're not picking veggies. You're not making broccoli. You're not going for a walk, right? We all know that it would make us feel better, but God, it's hard to get off the couch on those days, isn't it? So, the mood boost from CBD or THC, your choice, can really help with your motivation. Number 4 is one of my favorites, and this is appetite suppression. Now, this we're going to get specific because THC is well known for the munchies, right? And now when I became an educator, one of the things I really wanted to dig into was how that happens, why that happens, and how we can work around it. And the truth is, only certain types of THC do that. It really depends on your type of THC and what's in it. So it's something to be, if you're concerned about, something to be very careful with when you pick THC. If you want to be guaranteed no munchies and you want to actually suppress your appetite, right? Something similar to those weight loss medicines, your Ozempic and your Wegovy's, similar to that, right? It balances out the hormones that regulate your hunger and your fullness. So, CBD suppresses appetite because, like I said in the beginning, CBD and THC have some really important similarities, but they also have some really important differences. And CBD, in some ways, counteracts THC. And when it comes to the intoxication and the appetite stimulation of THC, CBD counteracts that. Which is why if you ever feel like you're too high, like you took too much THC, you can take CBD and that will bring down your high, right? So to prevent the munchies, or how it works with the munchies, is that if your THC is stimulating your appetite, your CBD does not. It's going to suppress your appetite, right? It's going to resist that. The other cannabinoid, which is again, it's a CBD, THC type, that's going to suppress your appetite, they found, is called THCV. V is in Victor. And I know that's confusing because it sounds like THC, but there's a V on the end, which means it's not intoxicating, which means it can suppress appetite because of, again, we're getting down into like chemistry. And I don't know about you, but I did not like chemistry in school. So I'm keeping this as simple as possible for you. But both CBD and THCV suppress your appetite. And again, which can be great for weight loss. It can be great for fitness, for just reducing cravings overall, and for making you feel comfortable using cannabis to help your fitness, right? No one wants to worry about the munchies. So when you're looking for products, they're well marketed now. Everybody's gotten a hold of that that phenomenon. So you'll see products that are called, slim and trim and things that are promoting weight loss and appetite suppression because they have CBD and THCV in it. Pretty cool. Number 5, focus. Focus is important. And this is one of the things I love about cannabis. Both CBD, CBG, and THC all do this for me personally, is help me focus. And it takes my scattered brain that's always wanting to multitask and do 8 things at once, and it helps me just dive into the moment and stay present and focused on what I'm doing. So if I'm writing, social media content, a blog post, an article, something like that, I always use cannabis first because that's going to help me focus and get my thoughts out clearly and concisely instead of my brain trying to get me to fold the laundry halfway through, right? So focus. And now this can really help because it can keep you on track for your workout, right? Instead of if you wanted to work out when you got home from work, but you got distracted by, laundry that needed to be folded, an email that needed to be checked, and mail that needs to be sorted. Having something that keeps you focused and on track, make sure you get it done. Makes sure you get it done, right? Instead of being sidetracked. So focus. And not just that, but during your workout. If you're someone that likes to use cannabis while you work out, then it'll help you stay in it and stay present and focus on what you're doing. So many times, when we work out and when I work with clients, we'll get sidetracked, and it's easy. I'll see it in people's eyes as they're moving. I'll see it happen. It's like suddenly I can tell they're thinking about something that happened at work today, or they're thinking about something that needs to happen afterwards, and I can see the distraction. And it's not the worst thing in the world, but it makes you lose focus on what you're doing. So you aren't going to get as much out of the movement, and you might actually hurt yourself, right? If you accidentally moved a little bit incorrectly because your brain wasn't focused. Now, similar to that is the next one, which is the mind-body connection. So similar to focus is that cannabis helps you connect your mind to your body. And part of that is the focus, right? Part of that is the concentration, but you're better able to sense. Your brain is better able to sense your movements and the connectivity, so that when I say, use your right arm to press and your left arm to pull, that makes it seem more simple and doable because you're able to connect your mind and your body. That helps you get into better positions. It helps you have better technique, right? When I work with people and trying to nail technique on big moves like a deadlift or a squat, any move really, it takes technique, it takes focus, it takes connection, and you need to be able to pull your shoulders down and squeeze your lats or squeeze your butt and tighten your stomach and all of those things. So it enhances your mind-body connection, which really just gives you better results and prevents injury, right? Recovery, can't go without talking about recovery. Recovery from your workout is key. Now some of this goes back to the sleep, right? But in addition to sleep, which is when your body recovers, you need to make sure that your body is recovering. So having it rejuvenate, making sure that you're giving your body water, nutrients, food, all of those things. But sometimes your muscles need a little assist, right? And you might need like a topical, for example, to help really soothe maybe your muscles, feel like they really broke down today, and you want to put something on them that is soothing and will help speed up that repair process. That's external use, right? If you're going to apply it on top, there's no intoxication with that. But additionally, when you inhale it or eat it or digest cannabis, it works with that endocannabinoid system that I was talking about. And that helps speed up your recovery too. Helps make sure that the water and the nutrients are getting, through your blood into the muscles, and helps make sure that that whole system of delivery of nutrients and oxygen to the muscles, that's happening. And similarly, that's part of how it can help reduce pain too. Same methods, topically, if you have soreness or chronic pain, a topical solution can make it feel easier to move. I gave one of my clients has arthritis in her neck, and she was having a little flare up, and I've got this great cream from Kickflies. It's a New York brand, and it's just so soothing. It's all CBD, so it's not intoxicating. Of course, it's a cream, so it wouldn't be, but it has lavender in it, which smells really nice, and it's so soothing on the neck. It feels so good. And then that client gets a better workout because she's not in pain. And again, inhaling or digesting cannabis also helps to reduce your pain receptors too, so you don't feel as much pain, helping make it more manageable. And again, if you're in pain, it's probably preventing you from working out consistently, which could be hurting your fitness, right? And so if you can move through pain, or not move through pain, that's not what I wanted to say. If you can reduce your pain and move anyway, right? And move around it, you will become fit despite your pain, right? People with chronic pain find ways to move. And a lot of times cannabis is a solution for that, which is pretty incredible. Maybe I'll do a whole podcast on that. And then lastly, again, we're talking about mood. And really stress is what I want to talk about in here, because we talked about mood a little bit, and how when you're in a better mood, you're more likely to, do your workout and choose vegetables and protein instead of pizza. But mood can be caused by a lot of things. And a lot of times it's just the stress, and we don't have a big tolerance to stress. So, stress is everywhere. But cannabis can help relieve the symptoms of stress. So for me, for example, my stress and anxiety kind of comes together, and I get a tightness in my chest. I've talked about this before, but I get a pretty big tightness in my chest, and that's a hindrance, man. Like, it makes me not want to do anything. It makes me a little bit panicked, because I feel a little bit fearful because my nervous system is all agitated. And so when I take cannabis, and it's just CBD during the morning, because it's non-intoxicating, it reduces that tightness in my chest, right? It's helping me be resilient to the stress, calming my nervous system, so that I can enjoy and practice being in that regulated state and know what my body feels like. So now I know, as soon as my body starts to feel stressed, that I don't want to be there, right? And that I have tools, cannabis, breathing, other relaxation tools, that I can use to get into a better state, so that I can work through stress and beat stress, really, is what it is. We're conquering stress. And that way, the stress isn't holding me back from working out. So that's just a quick overview of 9 ways that cannabis can unlock your fitness and help you be more fit. You can live at your ideal weight, whatever that is for you, whatever that looks like, and feel your best. If you're trying to get in shape and feel good, why not a holistic solution? Why not an all-natural solution? Why not a solution you can grow in your yard? That's what I do. It's fantastic. So anyway, I know I'm overly enthusiastic about cannabis, but it really has changed my life. So if you'd like to talk about how it could change your life, or maybe it already has, I would love to hear that too. Please feel free, reach out, ask me questions. I'm here for you. I literally do this just for you so that you can hear and understand my perspective. And so email me. It's Beth at CannaFitnessNutrition.com. I hang out on Instagram mostly, which is Beth_CannaFitnessNutrition. And I would love to hear from you. So I will see you next time.